Hello everybody, welcome to this presentation, Notification at the Heart of Your App. My name is David Coppett, I'm a PFE, and today we'll see in the agenda tiles. What are different tiles, what are tiles, what are the different tiles that are available, what format, why notification, why are we talking about this, why are we presenting this session, Converged platform, what does it mean in the case of notification, and we'll finish with live tiles, my favorite. So without further ado, let's getting started. Tiles. So tiles were introduced with Windows 8 and modern UI in general, modern UI apps, modern apps, as the main entry point. We don't have icon anymore, but we have tiles. With tiles, you have two formats. Basic tiles, which are on your start screen, where you click to launch your application, and secondary tiles, that are tiles that you generate within your app and that provide a link on the start screen to promote additional content to your users. Let's have a quick demo to illustrate that. So if I take the financial application and I search for a cool company, not Apple, not Google, but yes, Microsoft. Without any error, of course.
We don't see your screen, David. We're still on the presentation.
Oh là là, mais en
Maybe
fait,
you should switch.
yeah. I think Link just did it again.
Yes, we see your salsa background. That's fine, David.
Thank
Okay,
you, Christopher.
you can go on.
Okay, so if I take the... can you see my screen now?
It's a purple screen. So yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So if I search for Microsoft in the finance application, I can pin some content. That will be a secondary tile that I will have on my start screen. So if I go at the end, or just here, I should see my start screen, my secondary tile, Microsoft Corp. That will always display content for Microsoft. With tiles, either secondary or basic tiles, we have 4 sizes available. The small one, medium, wide, and the largest one. The small and the large were introduced with Windows 8.1. And as you may have noticed, you have live content only with for all size except the small one. So quick recap, here are the different size that are available. As you've seen, tiles can be enhanced with live content that you promote and display on your start screen. You have several ways to update your tiles. You can either do it locally, so the application updates the tile using the tile update manager with the method update. Pretty intuitive. You can have schedule tab where you plan tile for example, every day at 2 p.m. or at midday you update your tile. You can have periodic tile. Every 13 minutes you have an update. And then you can have push notification where tiles are pushed from the cloud or using a platform notification service. So why use notification? Notification are pretty useful for several reasons. For doing multitasking, it is one of the best way to actually interact with your user, because your app isn't always in the foreground, so you can still, without having your app as the main main program in executing, you can still interact with the user by promoting content and engaging them, actually, because if you see some interesting news, you will be tempted to click and spend more time on your application, because at the end of the day, that's what you really want: engage user, let user use your app and make money. And as the users use your app, they can develop some kind of habits or feel really comfortable because your functionality are really great, and you can have some kind of relationship. A good example would be, for example, Cortana. Cortana is a personal data assistant. You can be pretty addicted to it. So you can have similar content, for example, for a really cool news application that display exactly the specific category of news you're interested in at the right time. Every time you're using a computer, every morning at 9, you have a cool update that can be really useful. And that can be a differentiation criteria, which is really, really, really nice when you have lots of application and you need to differentiate yourself, to provide additional feature that make the difference. And you can make use of notification. So mobile push are everywhere. You have lots of applications that are already using it, are taking advantage of it. For example, all media or news app by promoting breaking news on the start screen. You always have a Bing news app that really gives you cool content that really engage me personally. Sports application too can be really useful. But time notification in general can be really nice because they can be a replacement for SMS. They are richer than text because you have lots of different formats. You can display text, pictures, and they are really cheaper and more flexible. You can do lots of cool things, engage user, and do all those things we just talked about in the previous slide. And in different category of application, you can use different type of feature. For example, in healthcare application, you can have prescription, appointment, reminders, etc. Types of notification can be used to do that. Last thing I would say about it would be a kind of pattern, push-to-sync pattern. For example, imagine you have a server where you upload your document in the repository. It can be nice to send a push notification when a new document is uploaded to tell the application that it can start to sync. So it can be really cool if it's in the background and the user, when it loads the app, have already everything synced up. So it can do lots of things. How does this work? So let's dive a bit around push notification lifecycle. So to do push notification, you will go on the cloud. Basically, your application will start by registering on a platform notification service. In the case of Windows, we have WNS, Windows Notification Service. And that service will give you channel URI, which is like an identifier, a temporary identifier that will be used to call you back. It's a callback, right? And then you will have a backend, either in the cloud or on-premise, that will have some logic to send notification. So this backend will issue something to the PNS, and the notification service will then forward you the notification using this channel URI. We have a third step. After registering, sending notification, you have a maintenance step. I highlight the fact that the channel URI is a temporary transient identifier. So it expires at some point of time. So you need some time to renew it to be able to continue sending notification. That's the basic life cycle of notification. Now let's talk about Converged platform. One place to rule them all. I like this statement because that's really what's happening. We have seen some convergence with WinRT between between Windows Store application and Windows Phone application. And now we're seeing this convergence on the notification side and in the notification platform. Historically, we had two notification services. We still have them, but not really. I will explain why. For example, with Windows Phone 8, we use MPN, Microsoft Push Notification Service, which was the service dedicated to phone. Then when we introduced Windows 8, Windows 8.1, we had WNS, Windows Notification Service. And now with Windows Phone 8.1, we use Windows Notification Service. So we are merging everything. We're still using the same service. All the applications that are using MPN can still use those API. It will work, but under the hood, it will redirect to WNS. So whatever happened, we're going with WNS. It's pretty cool because, well, it's all thanks to WinRT API that have brought some new features to the phone side. I will be talking about phone and Windows Store application because of this convergence that gave birth to universal application. So now we have no more excuses to do think separately. You know, we can just share codes. So that means every code you had until now using notification will just work if you move it on the Windows Phone side. Cool things actually happen because we hear the feedback from the field, and as customer requested a mechanism to test to do offline testing for notification, for push notification. We've introduced the notification simulation engine, NSE, that come with Windows Phone SDK in the additional tool. So it's quite cool because usually to do push notification, you will need to go to your Windows Store portal or Windows Phone portal, do some registration, set up everything about authentication, the Life ID, and update the package manifest, etc., etc., and then develop your server-side expertise, your server-side code that would require some expertise because managing notification on that side can be quite not difficult, but a bit tricky. It requires some knowledge. So all that to say, we've just introduced that out of the box, a simulator out of the box. I will demo that quickly. So with the simulator, you just need to go to the tab notification and you launch your application, and right away you will have this new functionality where you can select any notification you want and just test it. So let's try to send some notification just to test. I will deep dive in the code, but I've just done the toast on my phone. So let's have a look on the code. Here I have universal application with one small thing. We just have a method initialize that gets this channel URI by using the push notification channel manager. So I retrieve from WNS the channel URI, or if I'm using the simulator, directly a URL from this can, notificationserver.microsoft.com. Because if it was WNS, we would have something different. I will show you in a bit. And then we'll just we're just creating some ghost notification. I will introduce a new feature of the Windows 8 platform. So I will start by launching the app, actually. So it's a pretty simple app. I will populate some toast. Those one will be invisible, ghost toast, that I can find in the Action Center. So this is something new that was introduced, where I can find all the message centralized in one point. So I have my the notification I sent, the toast I sent earlier, and additional ones I've been creating. And I can clear just some of those notifications. Sorry, I've put a breakpoint over there. I'll just clear all. Well, the code, you will have access to the code, so you will be able to have a look and see what's happening. But basically, it's really simple. We're using the toast notification manager, and then retrieving a template. I will talk about it, but it's an XML. It's an XML payload that we'll be filling with some information. Some content, and we will just create the toast.
David?
Yes.
Can you ensure that you are still sharing your screen, because I don't see anything on mine. Maybe you've dropped the presentation via link. Just ensure that you are still presenting. It was interesting, so we don't want to miss that. See how the simulator can allow you to easily send that notification and simulate what you are expecting on your phone.
Link have betrayed me.
Okay, yeah, I know. So that's fine. I see loading. So I'm going back to my cave and let you continue your presentation.
Thanks, Christophe. Tell me whenever you can see something. Can you see?
So I can see your presentation, not the demo. I can see the PowerPoint presentation. But
okay, so what was the last thing that you saw?
It was when you did the demonstration of the simulator for the phone and showing how you will be able to easily send some toast notification or update tile. You were just at that point.
Okay, so yeah, we just populate some things. Show the action center, that is something new that we've been added. And show the code over there. I won't spend too much time explaining it, but because I have two more demos I want to show you. But the code is really quite simple. We have a list of string here that we will be using to create toast notification. So we're using the toast notification manager to get at the template. I will explain in a bit, but it's just some XML that represents how we want to wonder which model we want to use in the catalog. We have different.
David.
Yeah.
David, I can still see only the blue demo slide. I don't see your
showing the code.
Your actual Visual Studio. Maybe it's on my screen only, but you should double check.
No, I'm presenting the code.
Okay, good.
I think it might be some network issue.
Yeah, I have a delay. Go on.
Thanks. And yes, we're just issuing those XML, that's XML, setting some variables, and specifying just suppress the pop-up so it doesn't show on the user screen, but only on the in the action center. Then we just show it, and it will be displayed in the app on the phone. Okay, so can you hear me?
Perfect, and I can see your screen.
Okay.
I can see your code.
Nice. So moving on. Live and templates. So with this new merge initiative, lots of things have been added to the phone part because we had a minimal set of the template in the catalog. So now uh, the phone side is at the same level. It's on the same level as the Windows Store application. So all the features we already had, periodic polling, schedule updates, notification queue, all the templates are available on that side. So that is pretty cool. Let's talk about lifestyle. So lifestyle are just a notification in the end. They are a form of expression of. They are one of the many form notification can take because we have seen toast. Toast can result in a pretty poor expectation user experience because if you have pop-up that just being displayed on your screen every minute, the only thing you will do will be to uninstall the application. So it can be really tricky. But you have to identify the right mechanism to leverage notification. Tiles, on the other hand, is a pretty good candidate, as you can display as much information as you want, because the user, if he doesn't want it, he has no obligation to watch it. When you display your start screen, you're free to pay attention to whatever you want. So you're pretty free to do anything. So it's unobtrusive and can be really engaging as we see previously. And the challenge would be to identify what works best for the user, what can be really a differentiating character, and how you can make a good use of a lifestyle. And to do that, we provide a catalog. This is the famous template catalog, where you can have several formats. You can display text only in several formats, text and picture, lots of pictures, etc. The thing is, it's a predefined set, so you can't go outside of it. However, we have a way to customize it. We'll talk about it. You will find the link in the presentation to have access to the catalog on the MSDN, where you can find every tile toast template for Windows and Windows Phone, and Windows Phone only templates. So some words, a word about template support in Windows Phone. If you just launch your code as it is right now, working on Windows Store application, it will work on Windows Phone, because Windows Phone will accept pretty much any template. The thing is, because we don't have the same surface of display, some of the field might get truncated, you're not guaranteed to have all field displayed because obviously of the space difference you have. And on that side, if you try to show the large template, it will just be ignored because that format doesn't make sense on the phone. It's really too big. On the other hand, phone has its own template, so you have some specific template that you can make use. So it's pretty cool. Good to know. And if after all that you're still not happy because you would want to do something different, you can actually. Here are some tiles, some custom tiles that some application have been doing. So they are definitely not in the template, but you can still do it. How? Well, it's magic. I mean, in that way, as long as you believe something exists is magic, it is magic. So the trick behind this is it's pretty simple. You only display, you only create a picture that look like that has the right rendering you expect, and you just display it as in your tile, and that will do the trick. Pretty simple, right? So this is how really what really the payload of your notification look like. So, for example, for a tile, you will have this kind of template. So you will specify what template you're using and the different field of the template, and that will give you this output. A good practice would be to fill several sizes at the same time. So you have the square template and the wide template. So it's pretty interesting. We'll see really why in the next demo. It's interesting. So now we'll try to send a notification to both platforms. To do that, I have this website that I'm hosting on Azure, where we will send different we'll send some payload by retrieving the channel URI of our application and see what happens. So we'll start with phone. I will take my previous application. So first I will disable the notification service engine to have a real channel URI. So if you remember, in my push library, I'm outputting the channel URI I'm getting from the platform. So I will start by using my phone. Okay, I've pinned it on the start screen. So this is my channel URI. So it's still using notification server. Sorry about that. I will just install it and redeploy it. That will do the trick. Okay, attempt 2. Well, it's always the same. Demos. Murphy's Law. So I repin, start by pinning on my screen. Now I'm getting my channel URI with the domain notifywindows.com. So I copy this, go to my website and start by issuing a toast quickly. So I remove that. I should have removed all the breakpoints, sorry about that. And now I see my toast. So a cool thing I could do would be to do some tiles update. So I prepare something for you. Because I love manga, I will be using some manga content. So I will send a push notification on my tile. And if everything is working, yes, I'm seeing this update with my cool image manga and the text below. So let's try to do this with the Windows Store application, because on the other side I have a Windows Store application which will call the same code. So we just do an initialize, but we'll generate the channel URI. So let's do this. Actually, I think I've just launched it. Okay, so we call initialize. initialize. Okay. Let's do it again. Initialize. And now I'm getting my channel URI into my website. I send my tile notification. Yay, an exception. Cool. So if I go back on my screen, I've pinned my application over there, so when I will receive a push, yes, I should see something, which is exactly the same thing I sent to the phone. So now, if I change the size, this is not working anymore, because in the payload I've only included the medium size. Same thing happened for the phone, so that's why you should have include the payload for several size. Because the user, depending on the size it chooses, may miss your content. Okay, back to the presentation. So for the tile payload checklist, you can send the same XML to both platforms. Should include all sizes at once, and put Windows Phone template first, because the way it works is the first template that match is used. So to get back on custom tiles, you can custom draw your own tiles. That's how you achieve customization. You can generate that from the cloud by using any bitmap generator, and then send a push notification with the URL of the application. On Windows Phone, on the XAML app, you can use XAML rendering background task. We'll demo that, and for Windows Phone, you can use writable bitmap class. So let's have a second demo, a third demo, I mean. I will quickly deploy my application. Oh, sorry about that, I have too much thing on my screen. So update tile. We just deploy it and launch it in the emulator. Okay, so yes, I have this application, app tile updater. So I pin the screen here, and the idea behind this app is just to show you how, by running a background task, I could generate my custom tile. So I will start by registering my background task. The trigger I have is based on time zone. So if I change the time, it should trigger my background task and generate me something. We'll discover what. So I will select London time, and if I go back to my start screen, I should see something different with last update time and a custom format that is definitely not in the template catalog. So let's see how does this work. So the idea is you define your custom tile, the XAML associated, how would you like it to look, and then you create a background task. Here it's a background task in C++ for performance reason. The idea is when the background task is launched, it doesn't spin up the CLR, you know, so just execute it like that. So the task will use this custom tile XML and generate the file update tile.png, and you will then update your tile with this new generated picture. To generate it, it's pretty straightforward. You will start by reading the content of the file, setting some property in XAML. So we change the background, for example, retrieving some control, and then update the content to what we want, setting the values. And once we've done that, we'll just save the file. So this is the next method. And once everything is done, we will just update the tile by using the tile update manager. So it's not too complicated. It's not complicated at all, in fact. Just need to bear C++ if you are allergic, but it's cool. It's really affordable and straightforward. So that's why you would achieve customization. So we'll conclude with that. So universal apps are the new way to go. So you have no excuse. You can develop for both platform, Slate, Windows, and Windows Phone. You have platform support, for example, on the notification side with API and services that have come and to align both platforms, phone and Windows. You have Microsoft Azure that can help you to provide push notification using several services: Azure Website, Mobile Services, Notification Hub. And you have WNS, Converged Platform Notification Platform Service, and you have some tooling support using Visual Studio and additional tools, like for example the notification simulation engine. The next module will be on mobile services. So now we've just talked about notification on the server side, but really lightly. But we will see how does it work, how Microsoft can really help you on that side with the next Lunch and Learn. I hope you enjoy it and that you learn some new things.